Today I'm going to be attempting to beat Pokemon Black using only normal type Pokemon with these hardcore Nuzlocke rules. If you do enjoy this video at any point, think about leaving a like and subscribe maybe if you do enjoy. Also, comment down below while you're there what your favorite normal type Pokemon is. Without further ado, let's get into this. My journey begins as I pick Snivy so that Sharon would have the harder starter Tepig as he evolves into a fighting type. After my bedroom gets absolutely destroyed, I then head up to Route 1 to catch my first team member, Patrat, who is named Remy. I then head up north to Accumula Town and give N his first beating of the run. I then go on to Route 2 to catch my second team member, Lillipup, who I name Akamaru. Then to the north of Route 2, I fight Bianca properly for the first time, but Remy is able to give both her Lillipup and Oshawott an absolute beating. After making it to Striaton City, I have to head to the trainer school so I can battle Sharon, to which he then gets destroyed by Remy and Akamaru. It was time to finally take on the first gym of the run, the Striaton Gym, to which I face Leader Chili, who starts with his Lillipup but is easily taken out by Patrat, to where I don't even take damage as he just uses workups. His second Pokemon, Pansear, comes in next, to which I do most of its health with Patrat's tackles, before I then have to switch into Akamaru to do the finishing blow, winning me my first gym battle. I was then finally able to leave Striaton City heading west to where I battle Sharon for a second time, but once again he doesn't pose much of a threat as most of his Pokemon are just dealt with pretty easily by Patrat and Lillipup. After battling Sharon, I am then able to pick up my third team member, Pidove, named Pigeon. After saving yet another Pokemon from Team Plasma, I then head west of Nakreen City to the outside of Pinwheel Forest to catch my next team member, Ordino, who I named Carrot. Before entering the Nakreen City gym, my Lillipup evolves into a Herdier. Before I enter the gym, I am forced to face N for a second time, but his three Pokemon, Pidove, Timber, and Timpole, don't pose much of a threat as they are taken out pretty easily. Before taking on Lenora, I am able to evolve Patrat into a Watchog. It was then time to face Lenora, who starts with Herdier and I started with Remy. I put Herdier to sleep, but not long after he wakes up and does a hefty amount of damage with Takedown before being healed up, to which I then put it to sleep again and then knock it out with a critical hit Crunch. Her Watchog comes in next, to which I put to sleep and then hit with a Crunch before I have to switch to Akamaru, but then Akamaru is then put to sleep and then shortly after wakes up for then having to switch into Ordino, who gets put to sleep but wakes up straight away and then paralyzes with a secret power and then knocks it out with two more. After leaving the Nakreen City, my Pigeon evolves into a Tranquil. After getting the Dragonite Skull back from Team Plasma, it was then time to make the trek across the pixelization that is the Sky Bridge. After kicking Team Plasma out of Castelia City, I then take on its respective gym leader Berg, who leads with his Whirlipede and I lead with Pigeon, to which I can then knock out with two Air Cutters. Then his double is brought in next, so I have to switch to Remy and then I put it to sleep after missing one Hypnosis. So then I'm able to hit it with two Super Fangs, putting it into kill range for a Crunch. His Leavanny is brought in next, I then have to switch to Pigeon so that I can knock it out with three Air Cutters after using Roost and Berg healing up his Leavanny, winning me my third gym badge. After beating Berg, I then head to the north of Castelia City and take on Bianca for a second time, to where she leads with her Herdier. It is dealt with by Pigeon, the Oshawott is dealt with by Pigeon and Carrot, and the Munna and Pansear are both dealt with by Carrot on its own. After battling Bianca, I have to head to Route 4 and fight Sharon for the third time, but he's really easy as his first three Pokemon are knocked out by Pigeon, and his last Pokemon, Lipod, is taken out by Carrot. From this point on, I'm not going to show any of the other battles with Sharon and Bianca until their last battles, as realistically, they're really easy and don't serve much interest at all. After making it to Nimbasa City, I head to the amusement park Ferrisville, where I battle N once more. His first three Pokemon, Sandile, Scraggy, and Darumaka, go down pretty easily, but his fourth Pokemon, Sigilyph, goes down after a little bit of struggling as he takes down all of my Pokemon down to like a third health. But after that, I then get put into a dating sim for about a second. I don't know why we have that, but you know what? I'm here for it. I then head east, Route 16, where I catch my next team member, Minchino, and name him Chino. Later on, you'll see that this man is an absolute demon. After that, I head back to the Nimbasa City gym to take on the fourth gym leader, Alyssa, who starts with her Emolga, and after a few Volt Switch shenanigans, Chino is able to knock out the first one. Then I switch to Remy as her second one comes in, and after more Volt Switches, I have to switch to Carrot, and then I am able to knock out the Zeb Striker next with a combo of Attract and Dig, and the last Emolga is then knocked out by a takedown from Akamaru as Carrot was too low on health. I then travel west across another big ass bridge before arriving in Driftvale City. After making it to Driftvale City, I swiftly head up to Route 6 to catch my next team member dealing, who I name Winter. After taking some time to knock Team Plasma out of a freezer, I am able to evolve Chino into a Chinchino. I then head back to the Driftvale City gym to take on Clay. He starts with his Crocorock and I start with Chino. I knock out the Crocorock with one tail slap, and then Palpitoad is brought in, to which I put to sleep and then knock it out with a critical hit wake up slap after Clay heals it up. Excadrill comes in next, to which I hit with a wake up slap and then switch to Carrot to finish the battle with a Dig, winning me my 5th gym badge. On the way to Charge Zone Cave, Akamaru finally evolves into his final evolution, Stoutland. After making it to the end of Charge Zone Cave, I have to battle Anne once again, who isn't hard, so I easily breeze past him and make it to Mistralton City. Before being able to take on the gym in Mistralton City, I have to go ring the bell at the top of the Celestial Tower. And on the way back, my Tranquil evolves into an Unpheasant, and my Dealing evolves into a Saucebuck. After making it back, it is finally time to take on Skylar in the Mistralton City gym. She starts with Swooper and I start with Akamaru, and I knock it out with 4 crunches after Skylar heals up twice. Our Unpheasant is next, to which I KO again with 3 crunches. A final Pokemon, Swanna, comes in after that, to which I hit with a crunch, and then I switch to Chino and knock it out with a tail slap and a wake up slap, winning me the gym battle. After beating Sharon once more and going through the Twist Mountain, I make it to the Icarus City and battle Bryson, who is pretty easy as he starts with Vanillish and I start with Chino. I knock it out with 2 wake up slaps after Bryson heals up once. Beartic comes in next, to which I put it to sleep and then knock it out with 2 more wake up slaps. Cryogonal enters last, to which is knockout with 1 wake up slap, winning me my 7th gym badge. After beating Bryson, I head to the top of Dragon's Spiral Tower and meet Zekrom for the first time. After that, I head back to Nacrane City, pick up the Light Zone, and then head back up top to where I meet Getsus on a bridge before entering Opalicid City. I then head north of Opalicid City to where I catch my last team member, Kaz the Buffalon. It was then finally time to take on the final gym leader, Drayden, who starts with his Fracture and I start with Chino. Fracture gets put to sleep and then is KO'd with 1 tail slap. Draudigon comes in next, to which I put to sleep, but it wakes up first turn to hit a Dragon Tail to switch my Chinchino out into Carrot. Carrot uses Attract and then it's able to hit 2 Secret Powers before I then have to switch to Akamaru, who deals even more damage, but then I have to switch again to Pigeon. Pigeon deals more damage as well, and ended up having to switch out because of Dragon Tail. Kaz comes in to knock out with a Mega Horn, and then his Haxorus comes in next, to which I KO with a critical hit head charge. Upon heading north of Opalicid City, I run into Sharon for my final battle with him, and to be honest, this is probably the hardest battle out of the rival battles so far. He starts with his Unpheasant, I start with Chino as per usual. I put Unpheasant to sleep and then knock it out with a tail slap and a wake up slap. His Emboar is next, to which I put to sleep, hit with a Dig, but then I have to switch to Akamaru as his Emboar does too much damage. Akamaru hits it with a Dig before needing to be switched out as well, so I bring Pigeon in to get the KO with an Air Cutter. Lipard comes in next, but because I'm burned and I'm low on health, I switch to Kaz to knock out with a Mega Horn. Simisage comes in last, to which I hit with a Mega Horn, leaving it on pretty much 1 health, but then I have to switch to Winter to get the final KO with Horn Leech. After getting all my badges checked and making it all the way through Victory Road, I finally make it to the Elite Four. It's finally time to take on the Elite Four. The first one I take on is Chantal. She starts with a Cofagrigus, and I start with Akamaru, who knocks it out with a Dark Gem boosted critical hit crunch. Her Golurk comes in next, to which I KO with 2 more crunches. Her Chandelure comes in after that, to which I hit with a Dig, but then I have to switch to Kaz. But she gets burned on entry, so I have to switch again. So I bring Carrot out, but once again she damaged so much that I have to switch out once more. So I bring Pigeon in, but yet again damaged way too much. So I bring Carrot out once more, but because of the regeneration Regenerator ability, she's gained a bit of health back so she can live with Psychic and KO with a Crunch. Jellicent comes in next, so I switch to Winter and KO after a bunch of Mega Horns and Horn Leeches because of the Cursed Body ability. Second member that I take on is Grimsley. He starts with a Scrafty and I lead with Chino, who I put to sleep and knock out with a Wake Up Slap and a Tail Slap. Crocodile is next, to which I switch to Winter to get the KO with 2 Horn Leeches. Out comes Bishop and he's KO'd with a Fighting Gem boosted Jump Kick. And the final Pokemon Lipard comes in, so I switch to Kaz and get the knockout with the Mega Horn. The third member that I take on is Caitlyn. She starts with Reuniclus and I start with Kaz. I knock out the Reuniclus with a Bug Gem boosted Mega Horn, and then she brings in Sigilif, to which I hit with 3 head charges after she heals twice, so I have to switch to Pigeon to knock out with a Quick Attack. Gothitelle comes in next, to which I switch to Winter and knock out after Leech Seed and 2 Mega Horns. Her final Pokemon Mushana comes in, to which I knock out with 2 more Mega Horns. It's finally time to take on the final Elite 4 member, Marshall, who starts with this throw, and I start with Chino, I put him to sleep and then knock him out with 3 Tail Slaps. His Conkeldurr comes out next, to which I put to sleep as well, so that I can switch freely into Pigeon and hit with a Flying Gem boosted Air Cutter before he heals up, and then I KO him with 2 more Air Cutters after that. Salt comes in after that, to which I switch to Akamaru to get the Intimidate drop, hit him with his strength and then switch to Kaz to get the KO with a head charge. His final Pokemon Manchow comes in, so I switch to Chino, put him to sleep, and then after a bit of a combo of Dig and Jump Kick missing, I'm finally able to knock him out and complete the Elite 4. After beating the Elite 4, I go down to where the champion room should be, but to my surprise, I witness N summon a whole goddamn castle out of nowhere. After making my way through N's castle, I finally reach the room where N is, to where I find Reshiram, put him in a ball for eternity, put him into the box, and take on N for the final time. My final battle with N starts as he brings out his Zekrom and I lead with Chino. This is the battle where Chino is shown to be an absolute demon. He puts Zekrom to sleep and then knocks him out with 2 Tail Slaps and a Dig without even taking damage. Zoroark comes in next. I know that it's Zoroark because it's the only Pokemon he has that has a super effective move. So I put him to sleep and then knock him out with a Tail Slap and a Wake Up Slap. His Kling comes in next, which I hit with 2 Wake Up Slaps, and then put him to sleep to KO afterwards with 1 more Wake Up Slap. Vanilluxe comes in next and I knock out with a single Wake Up Slap critical hit. Garacosta comes in after that, I put him to sleep once more and then knock him out with a Dig and a Wake Up Slap critical hit again. Archeops comes in last, to which he's also put to sleep and then KO'd with 2 Wake Up Slaps, the first one being a critical hit. Straight after the battle with N, I have to take on Getsus in one last battle. He starts with Cofagrigus and I am forced to lead with Chino, so I have to switch straight away into Akamaru, who gets Toxic, but he's holding a Pecha Berry. But after getting hit with Toxic again, he is able to knock him out with 3 crunches as Akamaru dies at the same time as Cofagrigus. I then send Chino in as he sends in his Buffalant, and I'm able to knock it out with a Tail Slap and a Wake Up Slap. Hydreigon comes in afterwards, to which I switch to Pigeon, hit it with a Flying Gem boosted Air Cutter and a Quick Attack before he is sacrificed to bring Chino back in and put the Hydreigon to sleep and knock it out with a Wake Up Slap. Seismitoad is brought out next, so I bring in Winter and KO with a single Horn Leech. Electros is sent in afterwards, to which I hit it with a Horn Leech and a Jump Kick as Winter goes down to Acrobatics. Chino comes back in afterwards to put him to sleep and knock him out with a Tail Slap, and his final Pokemon Bishop is brought out and is KO'd with 1 last Wake Up Slap, meaning we've beat Getsus and completed the challenge of beating Pokemon Black with only normal type Pokemon. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, leave a like, comment, and maybe even subscribe if you really did like it and want to see more videos that are the same as this.